Again, Professor at RMIT University, Joe Siracusa. So is it too early to say it's going to be Bernie? Are you feeling the burn, Joe, or are we going to hold on a little bit longer yet to see if Joe Biden can come back into the game?
Well, I thought there would be a little longer to think about this. On the other hand, I've been monitoring all the American Sunday shows, and as far as they're concerned, and these are the pros over there, they think that that Bernie's got this locked up. He's going to get the 1,991 delegates from at Milwaukee in July, and his problem, of course, is the Democratic establishment. They're going to try to stop him again, even though he's 78 years old, even though he's had a heart attack and problems like that, he still looks incredibly electable. And in the one poll on a head-on match with the president, he could beat him tomorrow. Of course, the poll isn't tomorrow. It's going to be in a couple months. So he's starting to look very good. He's picked up the age groups, the ideological groups. He's starting to pick up the racial groups. You know, he's going to do very well with Latinos, who make up 17% of the American voting population, and he'll probably do pretty well with the blacks. Look, he looks unstoppable, and the reason is this. He's got a great story. His story is that the American working people have been screwed over by global elites, and he's offering them some concessions here. Number one, universal health care. Number two, universal daycare centers. And he's offering them better public schools. He's going to offer them free education at the public universities. And these are all within the means of America to pay for it. I mean, these things don't cost much more than an aircraft carrier. And he's just taking it to the establishment. He's saying these are the things we want. And this is what the Republican establishment is afraid of, because he has this rallying call. Now, can a Democratic socialist, really a Marxist, can he win this? Well, yeah. I mean, Bloomberg's not even a Democrat or Republican. Half the people running, even Donald Trump doesn't classify as a Democrat or Republican. He could have been anything. So what we have is going to have two great personalities. And I think it'd be wonderful to watch a 78-year-old Marxist going hammer and toe with a 73-year-old capitalist. I mean, it'd be great television.
Well, I'm glad you have journalists' interests and news business interests at heart, because certainly it would be quite a fight. But you point this out, Joe, there's really a lot of similarities between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, ironically, and perhaps Joe Hockey put it best last night. He's a former ambassador to the US, that, you know, the more, he says, the more commentators and critics say it can't be Bernie Sanders, the more he's likely to win. People are being told that their personal choices are crazy.
Well, yes. I mean, people who say he can't win, of course, are denying reality. Look, he has a very good chance of winning, particularly if he does well in Georgia and South Carolina and the Super Tuesday coming up. Look, to say he can't win is really dumb, you know, and you're going to get in a lot of trouble doing that. The Republicans are saying that he can't win because they're just hoping that's the case. I mean, he's the guy they don't want to face. It'd be easier to face the other people there. Warren or Biden, you know, they're very knowable type factors. But this guy, he's going to let Trump have it. And he's going to let him have it in a very sort of polite way. You know, Bernie's still a gentleman. He doesn't use a lot of four-letter words. He doesn't swear or drink. I don't know if maybe he has the occasional drink. But he looks like a prize fighter to me who's got one more fight in him. And so Donald Trump is going to have his hands full. Now, do the Russians want him to win? Well, the Russians want to interfere in everybody's elections the way the Chinese and everybody else wants to get involved in people's elections. The Republicans want him to win so that he can take on Donald Trump, to help Donald Trump. It's really a kind of a no-brainer and a non-starter, because the Russians are going to be involved anyway, and Bernie's going to tell them to go stuff themselves, even though he had a honeymoon in Moscow in 1988.
Oh,
you know, yeah, I mean. Bernie's done a whole lot of strange things. He went to Nicaragua when the communists were in control. You know, he's done all those things that academics like to do. They like to go places where no one else is invited. And so Bernie's got to explain this. The thing is, the people who are going to get Bernie Sanders in, those 19 to 45-year-olds, have never heard of the Cold War, and they don't give a damn. So it doesn't mean anything. They don't even know what a Marxist or a social democrat is. My generation knew what it was, and it could probably cost you your life or your job in some places for sure. So, but they don't know what he's talking about. All they know is that he's a champion of the people, and I've seen his crowds, and he's not going to have any trouble getting people out on that first Tuesday in November.
All right, Joe Siracusa, right across the detail as always. Joe, thank you. We'll chat to you again next week.
Thank you.